es para nosotros un placer estar en esta conferencia con los doctores que nos acompañan de la Universidad de Worms, Hocschule. Entonces, es para mí un placer presentar en primer momento a los estudiantes con nuestro conferencista. It's a pleasure for me to introduce you, our students, to you. We have students from the first terms, one group of the second term of our bachelor degree. Okay. Tenemos alumnos de los primeros semestres. Primero, grupo 1, si levantamos la mano. Grupo 2. Grupo 3. Segundo 1. Ok. Gracias, chicos. It is a pleasure for us to present our students. If you don't mind, I'd like to introduce you with them. Okay. Bueno, señores, entonces les voy a presentar al doctor Henning Kehr. El doctor Henning Kehr es un amigo de esta universidad, un amigo de esta licenciatura por mucho tiempo, y está acompañándonos hoy en esta conferencia inaugural. Y es un placer estar en esta conferencia inaugural con ustedes. La conferencia se denomina Logistics Across Europe y tenemos alguna metodología para esto. Primero, las preguntas serán al final de la exposición para no interrumpir a nuestro ponente. Les suplicaríamos que sus celulares estén apagados, de preferencia o en modo silencioso. Les pedimos limitar las pláticas a lo mínimo, no WhatsApp, y les pedimos que disfruten mucho esta conferencia. Un poco del CV del profesor Henning Kehr. Él trabaja en Hocschule Worms, él es doctor, sus grados que ha obtenido, sus diplomas, son por la Universidad de Hohenheim, de 1996 al 2002. Él tiene un doctorado en economía agrícola. Él ha estado en la Academie Deutscher Genossenschaften. Si mi pronunciación no es buena, if my pronunciation is not good, pido una disculpa. Y es graduado en Administración de Negocios Bancarios. Ha estado también en la Johannes Gutenberg Universität de 1980 al 85 con un diploma en Estudios Comerciales. Entre todas las habilidades que tiene el profesor Kehr, el doctor Kehr, él habla un español mejor que mi alemán, por supuesto, habla francés, es miembro de varias organizaciones. Esta, por ejemplo, es miembro de Logistics and Mobility House, Advisory Board, MBA, International Management at Hocschule für Wirtschaft und Umwelt de Nördlingen. Me pone un predicamento. Y su actividad principal, the present position, is Professor for Economics, Financing, Foreign Trade, and Foreign Trade Consulting, the Vice President of Hocschule Worms. Es profesor de Economías Financieras para el Comercio Exterior, es consultor también de Comercio Exterior y vicepresidente de la Escuela de Hochschule Worms, y tiene muchas publicaciones, algunas de ellas solamente en alemán. Es experto en muchos temas, y para no hacer mucho más grande esta presentación, porque tiene un currículum muy extenso, los dejo con él en sus manos y van a disfrutar mucho esta conferencia. Es un placer para nosotros tenerlo.
y no habla español, so we have to continue in English. So I'm sorry that I can't speak Spanish. I'm trying to learn a little bit, but it's not sufficient to do the lecture. Yes, many thanks for the introduction here. I want to add one thing, because it's perhaps not clear why I have a doctoral degree or PhD of agricultural business. So I was very close and had been several years in the cooperative sector in Germany. Cooperative sector means also banking, and that's my profession. I was a banker before I joined university, but the cooperative sector very often is at the universities, at the Department of Agricultural Business, and that's the reason why I have PhDs in agricultural business, even if I'm doing economics. So only as a short explanation. So what I want to present you today is a little bit about logistics. Let's start with the region where our university is also situated. That's near Frankfurt, and then we'll go on and I'll show you some aspects of more or less German situation, going on to the European, and then to the more global situation. So you see perhaps some developments and challenges we are facing in Europe and in particular in Germany. So yeah, let's start with the presentation. So you see here, I will first talk about some aspects of sustainable aviation fuel. So, you know, because of climate change, we have the challenge to look for alternatives, and also the airlines are looking for alternatives instead of kerosene to use other fuels, and therefore I'll talk about these. Then we will go on and ahead with the railway situation in Germany and some perhaps new solutions in transportation systems, and then further aspects of logistics. And if you're interested in, we can have a Q&A session afterwards. So that's my program. Then you can go ahead with that. Let's start here with the sustainable airline fuel. So you see here, that's a short image and picture. You can see it's from Aer Lingus. And we try to have now these sustainable aviation fuels. But also to look for the situation in Germany, now you can go one slide ahead. Once again. And how to make now this transport without any CO2 emission. Is it possible? And now you see here that's indicated at the top. It's called Industry Park. Industry Park, that's a chemical park to the north of Frankfurt, and to the south of Frankfurt we have the airport. And how to bring this sustainable aviation fuel to the airport in Frankfurt? Is it possible to make there a safe and efficient transportation system? And we discussed that with the ministry, and it's really not easy to do that. We can skip one or to go ahead one. So you see here there are some real highways between these two places, and it's not easy to make here a real safe transportation system. And that's the challenge we are looking for, let's say, other opportunities as, for example, pipelines or similar things. But the problem at the end is it's only sufficient for, let's say, 1 or 2% of all the needed fuels for the airlines. Only 1 or 2%. So it's not the solution at the end, at the moment. So you can go ahead with the next problem, railway system in Germany. So we want to bring big connection between, you see the arrow and top, from the North Sea ports to the Mediterranean ports, and that should be done by railway systems. And the problem here is, all the countries are ready with that. Railway system is really done. Also in Switzerland, the Swiss people have built up a tunnel 50 kilometers long under the Alps. They're ready with that. We in Germany, in the Rhine Valley, not. We can go one slide ahead, perhaps. I don't know if it's really to be seen. That's the Rhine Valley, very small, deep, and we should go there with the railway system. It's really a problem. But also to the north, to the south, then, where the Rhine Valley is much wider, there also we have some problems, because the citizens and people near the idea of the railway connection, they don't want to have that in their neighborhood. So sometimes they say, oh, it's not possible because of the noise, it's not possible because of nature or similar things. So we need so much time to overcome these, so that we are not ready before 2030. All the other countries are, we are not. And the next problem is, here in the middle of our railway system, that's Frankfurt. Frankfurt is a central station where the train system ends. It can go one slide ahead, perhaps. You see here, that's a picture of Frankfurt Central Station. You see that's the ends here, and all the trains coming in have also to go out in the same way. And that is causing so much problems that we are now looking for a new solution. Shall be the new solution perhaps a new underground railway station? But now the problem here in underground railway station in the city of Frankfurt has also some challenges. You see here all these skyscrapers. And you can't go under the skyscrapers because the pillars of the skyscrapers are, let's say, 40 meters below underground. And then you should go with a railway 60 centimeters. Oh, that's not possible. So what now the thing is, and you can go ahead with one next slide. We are only crossing 135 meters below, but then you have to look for the line where you have the chance to do it, and you can go one slide ahead. Then you see here the Main River. Then you have to cross the river, and that's the next challenge, the engineering challenge. You see here there are some variants. That's the green slides there. And that's the idea now, to cross Rhine River and go to the east with the new corridor for the railway system. And they want to have it up to 2035. So, next slide. You see here, that's a challenge. You can't go below the city where all these skyscrapers are. You have to cross the river therefore. And that is a short image, short picture where you see how the idea should work. Yes, the next one, please. So the challenge and the new idea is to have perhaps a new big railway station underground, an additional railway station. As the colleague introducing me, he said that his sister is living in Stuttgart. And in Stuttgart they're building also an underground railway station, but only an underground as a new one. And the capacity therefore is not enough perhaps in the future. Here we have an additional central station. Then, here, the next, no, not so fast please. As we are talking about railway system, we have really some problems with that because sometimes it's said that the infrastructure of the railway system is too old, where we have to repair very often things, and therefore trains are very often also late. So, on the other hand, if you're looking for logistics, in terms of logistics, the railway system counts only for 18% roundabout. And the main logistics is by truck. As you see here, nearly 3/4 are done by trucks. And that's the next challenge we are facing, because the trucks are on the road, on our highways, and we have really so often many trucks on the road that is also CO2 emission, then again some traffic jams and so on. So you can go now one slide ahead. Yeah, and you see here once again Germany, and you see here perhaps inland transportation by ship is only counting for 10%, railway by 20%, and the others are all on road. So that's the problem we have on our streets or highways. So we can go one slide ahead. One. Yeah. And that's one picture for the logistics on rivers. Here the main river is the Rhine River, but the problem is also, once again, climate change. So we have very often so low water in the river that it's not possible to do the transportation by ship on this river. And it's so important that sometimes, you see here, that has been last summer very low, and we have a very low capacity therefore with our ships, and it's really necessary to have this transportation system because most of coal and also oil is transported by ships to the southern part of Germany where we have the industry. So also that is a problem we are facing. One other picture with a very low water in the river here. Yes, one there. So we are looking now therefore for other solutions on our transportation system. One here, trucks. The first challenge is CO2 emission. And to do it by, let's say, H2O or whatever. Now here the idea is to do that by electricity. Very near to Frankfurt, to the south of Frankfurt Airport, we have simulation here, or installation. You see the electricity line, and the truck here on the left hand is really an electric car, loading his batteries on the way on the highway here, and afterwards, if he is leaving the highway, he has full loaded batteries and can drive alone without this electricity line. So that is a new research project, and it's very close to Frankfurt. The idea here is that you have to have the traffic which is connecting two main hubs in a very short distance, because it's not for long distance logistics, not from, in our situation in Germany, from Hamburg to Munich. Then you need such a long electricity line, and that's not possible. So only here that's a line for, let's say, 20 kilometers. And the next idea, and that had been a research project with a colleague of mine at Frankfurt University, we had the idea to do transportation underground. You see here the first picture with with image of this transportation system. You see here the small cargoes, and on the road is the car driving without any problems. Then we can perhaps try to make the link with cargo cab. Thanks for the video. So this idea is really existing. It's not only an idea anymore, but the company is existing and the technique is also existing. So my research with my colleague of mine, we try to make first idea of that between the Rhine-Main area and Rhine-Neckar area, very close to airport, because there's many trucks are going to Frankfurt Airport because it's such a main hub in cargo system in the world. But it was not funded at least. But to go to the next, perhaps there's another link. The homepage of that's a company. Go ahead with the next slide. Sorry that I don't remember that exactly. So what I want to present you now is that we have that. Here's the link I need. The underground freight transport. In Rotterdam or Antwerp, they have at every time the chance to go to the port. So that's one reason why Hamburg is losing market share. Another aspect is the employees are paid with a higher salary. And so two challenges for Hamburg, and we are losing their market share. So one slide ahead. That shows also the new situation Hamburg is losing, and you see perhaps here Rotterdam is much more important in Europe than Hamburg. Yes, it can go on. And that's one of these big container ships that have been really very exciting time. No, go one. Yes, please. Exciting time as this Berlin Express has been they have done to build it up and now install a new line to China also. And as you see here, it should be a cleaner future for shipping. So it's a new engine where you have also the chance not to use only heavy oil or others. And this big container ship can transport more than 23,000 so-called 20-foot containers or toys. That's one of the biggest. But for Hamburg, it's not possible to come to Hamburg port full loaded because the river is not deep enough. So you can go one slide ahead. The next problem here is that we want to have another fuel, but if you look for these sustainable fuels, we have not enough production capacity to do on the world, and that's the next problem here in world logistics with shipping. So what we have therefore to do, to look for new production capacities for alternative fuels. And that's written in that commentary. So one slide ahead. Then we have further aspects of logistics. You see here, if we're talking about logistics in the world, where are the hubs in the world? Where do we have the main connections between, let's say, economic centers? And here is a prediction how it will be developing in the future. Interesting point is that we will have more transportation in the future, not less. Even if we are talking about, let's say, nearshoring or others, we will have more transportation. And another interesting aspect is that the distance of the transportation is really rising. That means we are more and more doing transportation between economic centers which have a real big distance. And that's a little bit astonishing if we are talking, on the other hand, of nearshoring. And that's here not really predicted that nearshoring will have an effect on transportation. Transportation will really increase. That's from a study done by DHL, and it is done in 2022. Okay, thanks for the next slide then. And here you see the main hubs in the next years. Or the development. You see here the size should give an impression of the development between 2000 and 2021. And you see it's really increasing in a very, very fast way. So, and that is not to be seen that it will be decreasing anymore. So, what are the main hubs? You see, it's Europe and Asia, perhaps a little bit with the Southern America, and also a little bit of the United States. But the main hubs seems to Europe and Asia. Let's see if it's true after that. But at the moment we do have that situation. Next slide, please. Yeah, and here that's what I said before. The distance between the 2 points where you transport things, the distance of these transports is really rising, also the last years. Also in times of COVID and also in the times of nearshoring. So, yes, please, next slide. These are the top 20 routes. If you want to look it up, I will hand over the presentation afterwards so that every one of you has the chance to look it up once again. Also with some text on it that you have the chance to read. So you see here the main hubs also now increasing here, mainland China to Japan and so on. These are the most important connections. Yes, again, the slide ahead. So, and now, as I presented you many things, most of them are challenges, but not all. So we have also some ideas, as I've been talking about trucks with batteries, loading their batteries on the highway, or underground transportation system, big new central station in Frankfurt for the railway system. So we are thinking about all these, but on the other hand, it needs time. And that's what I want to present you. So many thanks for your attention. And now we have a chance to ask questions and then try to answer. Thank you.